What is up? Welcome back to Five Stars, 5 Points. I'm your host, Astaire, with the man with the college knowledge. Five Star, how was your Thanksgiving weekend, and are you ready for an exciting, action-packed weekend of college football?
Oh, it was wonderful, Greg. It was great, man. It was always good time to be with family and friends and watching football, man. That's always a wonderful thing, you know that. So, and happy Thanksgiving to you, my brother. We text each other, but still, let the people know it's real family over here, man. I wish all of you the best for Thanksgiving and also for the coming New Year, man. For the holidays, everybody be safe out there and enjoy your time with your family, man. That's what this is about. It isn't about any type of thing about money or trying to provide anything. It's all about spending time with your family, man. Make sure during this time you concentrate on family.
Yeah, I 100% agree with those sentiments. But one other thing that Thanksgiving does is pretty much kick off a wild month of college football, right? As we got a jam packed slate today. But the plays we will be giving out are for Saturday. So you'll have plenty of time to watch the show and get the bets in. But let's start with a little bit of recap because I have to know what were your thoughts on the Ohio State versus Michigan game?
Well, Ohio State and Michigan, they call it the big game because it is the game of the college football season, especially in the past. But recently in college football, it's made its way back to the top of the heap. At one time, I want to say Alabama and versus LSU was fighting for that game. Then maybe Georgia versus Alabama. Um, I'm sure in there sometime Oklahoma Sooners versus the Longhorns was a big rivalry game. But right now, this is back to what it was in the 70s as the rivalry game. I'm really looking forward to this game. I'm actually betting it. And I don't want any of the viewers to, uh, don't follow it because I'm saying that this is a personal bet for me. I probably will be sharing it with some of my clients, but it's not one that I'm posting as a free play. But you guys can take the information, do what you want with it. Me personally, I like Michigan in this game. Me and John Granada was speaking about this Wednesday. It was on the bench this week because of a holiday, of course. So we did it on Wednesday. Unfortunately, guys missed the game that we gave out. We gave out the under 52.5 on Fresno State versus San Jose State, and that was a winner. But he was speaking about that he felt like the book was bagging with Ohio State started out at -7.5, and then it went to 8.5, and then Ohio State was going to dominate, and it was a setup. The book's begging people to take that number. I disagree with them. I think more of the public is going to be on Ohio State by the way that they've looked the last couple of weeks. They've looked unstoppable. I think this game will be completely different. It's going to look completely different than the last couple of Ohio State games have looked. Receivers won't be running wide open. Michigan plays great defense. Their defensive coordinator loves to jam at the line, so it's not going to be any free releases for those receivers. They're not going to be getting any quick hits. They're not going to be off them 20 yards on the line. They're going to be in their face. So if they're going to have to make perfect passes, C.J. Stroud is going to have to make perfect passes, a lot of fade routes, a lot of go routes because of the man coverage that Michigan likes to play. And if it's any hesitation on his part, that's great pass rush. So Michigan is going to get to him. I've seen C.J. Stroud earlier in this year get routed before in earlier games against defense that put pressure on him. Michigan is going to put pressure on him. And also, I believe Harbaugh is wise enough to understand that when they have the ball, they need to control the ball. They're not going to be. Lately, they've been trying to put up points. The last couple of weeks, they put up points. I don't think they're going to play as fast this week. Not saying they're not going to try to score, but I think he'll be more concentrating on time possession, trying to keep the ball away from Ohio State. And as you know, Michigan and Harbaugh, pardon me, loves to do that. That's one of his things that he's a master at. He's going back to his days at Stanford and the 49ers when it comes to like scripting the game plan to keep the ball away from the other team. He's great at that. So I really think Michigan's going to keep this game within this number, man. I think it's going to be a great game that comes down to the fourth quarter. I like a lot what I've seen out of Cade McNamara from Michigan, the quarterback. He's looked good in their games that in all the big games. He's looked solid. So if I was Harbaugh, I'd stick with him. I wouldn't, switch him out the game. I'd leave him just in the game, let him run the offense, get that ball to those great backs that he has. Trust that offensive line is strong. Get that ball to the everything tied in, and just match up and go old school smash mouth football. And I think they'll be okay, man. So I honestly in this game I expect it to go down to the fourth quarter. Me personally, I'll be taking Michigan plus the 8. I already have them plus 8.5. It's down to 8 now.
All right, 5-star likes Michigan +8. Jim Harbaugh consistently putting together winning seasons in Michigan, yet to beat their big rivals. So we know this game means so much to him and the team because he wants to get that monkey off his back. Let's
Definitely.
talk about. Let's go ahead.
I said definitely. Pardon me.
Oh yeah, I mean he does, right? I mean that's
Yeah.
the last thing they need, right? It's up there with the national championship on how big it would be for the
Right.
alumni and boosters of that program. So let's see if he can get it done. I'll be with you taking the points with Michigan. Next question: does Cincinnati deserve to be in the college football playoff top four?
You know how I feel about Cincinnati. I don't think they've played much on their schedule. Um, I think things will play themselves out, and they'll end up not getting into the top four because I really expect the University of Houston Cougars to defeat them in the championship game for that conference. I like Houston's defense a lot, and I think that they're gonna fix everything for the committee just by upsetting them when Houston upset Cincinnati. So, do they deserve it? They played their schedule. They've done what they're supposed to do. It's amazing to me. This was the first week, this past week, that they dominated the team or covered the spread that they were supposed to cover. All the rest of the weeks they haven't. So it's sometimes boggling to me the process that the committee uses, how they switch numbers. It's kind of like any other thing. You can always make numbers, make an argument seem correct, you know. So um, they're saying that all of a sudden that they moved into the fourth spot because this was the first time that they covered, but it seems like they would have dropped a little bit less because of the bad showings they had the last couple times. And now they're raising Notre Dame up. They're kind of having the Notre Dame and Cincinnati like tied together and letting them ascend up the charts to kind of help each other, you know. But I don't see Cincinnati staying in there. Do they deserve to be there? For yes, they've won their schedule. They had a big win in Notre Dame, but besides the win in Notre Dame, what else have they really done? They dominated the SMU team that's on the decline. SMU hasn't been playing well. Um, when they Cincinnati beat them, they aren't the team that they were earlier in the season. So uh, I'm not impressed at all with Cincinnati. And as I said, I think the University of Houston will upset them in the conference championship game.
All right. Let's move straight to the picks. First one we have on our docket: Army +3.5 against Liberty, and first round quarterback hopeful Malik Willis. How do you see this game playing out?
I'll just be honest with you, man. I'm taking Army +3.5, most likely money line to win outright. Um, Strictly based off the recent play of Malik Willis. He's been terrible lately. His last two games, he's completing less than 50% of his passes. He has 5 interceptions against only 2 touchdowns. He's not seeing the field well at all, forcing plays that just aren't there. And of course, Liberty goes as he goes. So they lost their last two. Army, on the other hand, marches into this battle winners of 4 straight. The Black Knights are second in the country in rushing yards per contest. Liberty is stout against the run, ranking in the top 40, defending it. But we know how these service schools are, spread. They grind on you 4 yards, 3 yards a pop until the second half, and your lineman tired. And after that, those 4 yard runs become long runs. Um, the Black Knights also have a top 15 defense. They just won a fisticuff victory over Air Force last month. And also, they're 5-1 against the spread, man, in their last 6 games as an underdog. Hugh Freeze just received a big contract, like the biggest contract in the history of Liberty football. So I'm sure he's good and comfortable right now. They're already bowl eligible. This game doesn't mean a lot to them. And when Army comes out and smacks them in the mouth, uh, I don't think they're going to be ready to play. Um, I think the defensive Army is tenacious, and I also think that they play good pass coverage. So the way that Malik Willis has been playing, I don't see him being successful at all against Army, and I see Army dominating the time possession like they always do. They're second in the country in rushing yards. Um, Take Army +3.5. I
All
also
right,
like the money line.
5-star likes the Army +3.5 and the money line. Now, at the beginning of the season, Spencer Rattler had the eye of the media on him as the top quarterback prospect. He suffered under that spotlight as he got demoted. Malik Willis came into the spotlight. Do you think that this has something to do with his recent struggles? Do you think he's struggling under the pressure, or do you think
Oh,
it's something else?
yes, definitely, definitely has the big eye on it. And I'm gonna tell you who's ascended. Matt Corral has really impressed me a lot, man. He's played outstanding since his injury.
Mhm.
He showed me some things that I didn't even know he had. You know, we didn't have a lot of film on him. You know, he was kind of like I'm not gonna say a gadget guy, but him and Plumlee switched in a lot last year for Ole Miss. So
Mhm.
I wasn't aware of his total package. That kid has guts, man. He's accurate as hell. He's a competitor. He's a winner. We won last night with him. We had Ole Miss money line first half and for the game and +2. And that was all the Matt Corral show, man. Like I say, his injury really, really, really shows to me. To me, he's the number one quarterback in the class right now, and I'm sure scouts are feeling the same way after his performances against tough competition these last couple weeks, and how he's responded and he's led the Rebels to victories. Malik Willis has shrinking in the spotlight, man. That game against Ole Miss, you know, we watched it. We had Liberty.
Mhm.
Uh, they had the game. Ole Miss scored 3 points in the second half. That kid couldn't do anything. He's not seeing the field well right now. It's like he's almost panicking. I don't know if Hugh Freeze um, isn't coaching him well right now, or is it the system? Is he just not seeing the field well? Is he buying the hype? I don't know what it is, but he's really, really struggling right now. He's electric with his feet, you know that. So sometimes your athletic ability can make up for things. So he might make some plays against Army on some plays that are just, you know, when the plays break down, he scrambles. But as far as in just reading the field like he was last year and seeing receivers open and throwing dimes, he's not doing it right now, man. And if you put any pressure on him, he's giving the ball away. And Army, they have some exotic blitzes, man, some real nice defensive sets that are going to confuse him, man. So um, he has to be perfect too. You know how Army plays, man. Their time possession, they're going to keep the ball the whole game. So when he has the ball, he has to execute, and that's going to put more pressure on him. But to go back to what you're saying, yeah, I think he has had a difficult time dealing with being told he was going to be the number one pick. I don't know if he's playing not to get hurt. You know, maybe that's it too. You know, he's a kid from Atlanta. I'm sure he wants to play in the pros, and I'm sure the Falcons will be up there this year. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons take him at all, because I'm sure the city will be clamoring for it. But we'll see what happens with him, man. He has all of the skill sets to be successful, but right now mentally he just isn't doing it.
All right, let's head out west for our next game. Oregon State is heading to Oregon, and this used to be called the Civil War, and I'm not sure if they've renamed it. So I know they've agreed to no longer call it the Civil War, but I don't think they have a new name for this rivalry. Regardless, this has been going on for years and always has been a great game. Regardless, even if one team is terrible and the other team is good, it's a great rivalry out here in the Pac-12. Oregon State +7 at Oregon. What are your thoughts?
This will be the 125th time that these 125th. Sorry about that. 125th time. It's early in the morning, man. They don't know we. It's like about 3 in the evening. It's like 8 in the morning. I got one eye on the TV because it's 9 a.m. and I got some big bets going. I got San Diego State for like a couple used cars, man. So I kind of was watching that the corner of my eye, seeing them about to start that. I apologize. This is the 125th time these in-state rivals have played each other. The hate between these two programs is so intense that locals call it the Civil War, as you said. The host Oregon limps into this game after being embarrassed in a nationally televised game in Utah last week. The Ducks college football playoff goals are basically over. Last week's loss and the disappointment of being eliminated from the national championship has to be still lingering on their minds. This is the Oregon team also missing their top three skilled players on offense and their best running back. Uh, their rival in Corvallis, Oregon State, is on a whole different trajectory right now, guys. The Beavers are playing the best football of the season. They won two straight. And with a victory in Eugene, Oregon State will win a minimum of a share of the Pac-12 North. Last week, they dominated Arizona State team on both sides of the ball. Running back B.J. Baylor has been on the roll. Oregon State doesn't have a lot of outstanding outside players, but the team is well coached by Jonathan Smith. And no one understands this rivalry more than Coach Smith. He quarterbacked the best team in Oregon State's history, going 11-1, winning the MVP of the Fiesta Bowl. Oregon State has all the momentum in this one spread. They're playing with more incentives. The Beavers upset the Ducks last season to 16-point dogs, and I expect them to keep this game within the number throughout and have a chance to pull out an outright victory in the fourth quarter. The Beavers are 10-1 against the spread in the last 10 games as a road dog. They're 6-0 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. While the Ducks are just 1-6 against the spread in their last 7 games as favorites at Autzen Stadium. Take Oregon State +7 with this one. They have the better coaching staff and all the motivation in this one.
All right, let's head down to Florida where we have another in-state rivalry. Florida State is +3 heading to take on the Gators. What are your thoughts on this game?
On this game right here, man, Florida is struggling, man. Florida is in the middle of another rebuild, another rehire. That seems like the last what 10 years since Urban Meyer left. That's all we're always talking about in Florida is who's going to be the next coach. It's very unsettling in Gainesville right now, and I'm sure a lot of coaches are not after what they did to Dan Mullen. They're not going to really even want to go there. So, good luck with finding a top-notch, coach with the way they treated Dan Mullen. Um, how much can change in 60 days, Spread? I mean, 2 months ago,
So
Florida.
catch everyone up. What did they do to Dan Mullen that's going to make coaches hesitant to go there?
Well, he was just fired in his second season.
That's it.
Last year he had a great season. Now they were at the beginning of the season this year. They were top 10. I mean, how many wins did they have last year? 8 or 9.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I mean, it was just they're kind of over reacting. I don't they're trying to get back to the Spurrier days, the Urban Meyer days, but you know hey man, you have to get the right people in place. Like, and you have to be also give people a chance. They didn't give Mullen a chance to build up the program, and I don't really see anyone that they can hire that's available because you see uh, everyone's sewing their coaches up. Michigan
Hmm.
State just locked in Mel Tucker. Uh, James Franklin just got locked in at Penn State. These coaches aren't going anywhere. So they're going to have to go find an assistant now when they already had an established head coach, Dan Mullen, who's been successful at lowly Mississippi State in the SEC. He's a good coach, man. He had a history with Florida, being an assistant back when they were good. It's just he didn't have the right quarterback this year. Anybody who watched Florida knows that Emory Jones is a great athlete. He's not a good quarterback, and the way Dan Mullen likes to play, don't get me wrong, he coached Dak Smith, so he does know how to deal with athletic quarterbacks. I think that's why he was really big into Richardson. He saw a lot of in the back of Richardson that he had in Dak, and he was going to run that same power type offense. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he was the offensive coordinator when Tebow was there also in Florida. So he knows how to use those type of power, uh, quarterbacks and put them in the run game and make them an extra man, and that way you have an extra blocker and run power and be successful with that, and then off of that run some pass plays. But the issue is that Emory Jones was not that type of quarterback. He's very ratty. He's athletic, but not athletic enough to truly affect the game where you're like, wow, who is this kid? He's fast, but just, not fast enough to get away from the SEC linebackers. And he's not accurate throwing the ball, he's lackadaisical in his mechanics sometimes. So, Emory Jones, who had a lot of hype coming in to Florida, is the reason that Mullen got fired. In my opinion,
Hmm.
because of play. So that's one thing. And then their defense, man, their defense is giving up the last 5 games. They've given up over 200 points. They've given up like 40 points a game. They allowed a FCS team to come in and score 52 points on them. You know, so I don't know if he lost the locker room. I don't know if it's the coordinator, but I just have a difficult time thinking that they're going to find a better coach at this point, better than Dan Mullen available. Dave Aranda, if he leaves Baylor, he's going to LSU or USC. He's not coming to Florida. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that's just my opinion. But getting back to the game, it's funny how much things can change in 60 days. 2 months ago, Florida was on the brink of upsetting Alabama. A lot of people forget about that, right?
Hmm.
Since that last September matchup, things for the Gators have completely went south, man. They've lost 4 of the last 5. The long victory that the Gators had was against FCS Sanford, who put up the 52 points, as I said, in Gainesville. One successful head coach, Dan Mullen, was abruptly fired last week after 2 seasons. He's a successful head coach, so I just don't understand, as I said, how they're going to find someone at this point better than what they had in Mullen. But anyway, that's what their AD wants to do, and that's what they're going to do. and it's going to benefit us because we're taking Florida State +3. Because Florida State, they looked lost in September, but they progressed, man, and they're one of the teams that are really on the rise this year, man. They played wonderful the last 4 games, man. The Seminoles have been playing some of the best football in the ACC. Since they turned the offense completely over to Jordan Travis, man, they've been outstanding. He continues to grow in confidence. Each week is the starter. He's a dynamic athlete. He runs a legit 4.5, but he's taken well to Mike Norvell's system. In his last 2 wins against Miami and Boston College, not only did he make clutch throws, he spread the ball to 10 different receivers. How many times do you hear about college quarterbacks doing that, hitting 10 different guys in 2 straight games? You know, the Seminoles are responding well to Coach Norvell's system. I see them building momentum towards 2022 to be a real contender for the ACC. Um, they have an interim coach, man, in Florida. He was actually the guy who took over the coaching position for Mullen when Mullen left Mississippi State to come to Florida. He coached Mississippi State in the Tax Layer Bowl, and they lost. So I'm not looking for much from him. At this point of the season, between these two proud programs, man, it's basically about bragging rights. You know, that's what they're playing for. Florida State can sweep the state of Florida. They haven't beat the Gators since 2017. They beat Miami last 2 weeks ago. Now, if they beat Florida, hey, they swept the whole state. They got all the bragging rights. When is the last time Florida State's been able to say that? They're motivated. They're going to go to a bowl game if they win this game. Uh, Florida, man, is just a complete mess. As I said, like Anthony Richardson, the quarterback, man, he got hurt dancing in the hotel room before the game. Like, you know, they're not focused right now, man. Florida's just ready for the season to be over with. I'm sure that their program isn't even looking forward to, if they did win this game, going to what the popcorn bowl or whatever they're going to get sent to, you know. So um, I don't expect Florida to put up a fight in this game. And I think Florida State is going to come out very, very motivated. I think Florida State's going to look real good this game. And we're going to roll with Florida State +3 and also on the money line to go into Gainesville and get their first victory since 2017. Once again, I always like to ride teams who are responding to the coach at the end of the season. You could tell the light went on. You could tell with those players, the connection and the bond between Coach Norvell and his players has grown immensely over this year. They're playing for him now. They look real excited. They look into every game. They don't want the season to end, so they know if they win this game, they're going to get a chance to go bowling. Take Florida State on this one.
All right. 5-star likes Florida State +3 plus a little money line. That's 3 dogs for you this week. And the 5-star pick of the week is Oregon
Yes,
State +7. That's right. Threw a
that's
little
right.
curveball in there.
That's
You know,
right.
usually we do the 5-star pick last, but we had to keep you on the toes. But if you only
There you
have
go.
one unit available to bet today, this one is the best play.
Yes.
Oregon State +7. So there you go. Some quick thoughts on college football, everything that's been going on, and of course, 3 winners for you to wager and make it a winning holiday Saturday. 5-star. Anything else for the people before we sign off?
I will appreciate you guys' support. Hopefully, you listen to me on the bench 97.5. I was on Wednesday this week at 9:30, but my normal place is going to be Thursday every week at 9:30. But of course, due to Thanksgiving, I came on a day early. If you guys missed it, and unfortunately, you missed the winner we had yesterday on Thanksgiving with the San Jose State versus Fresno State under 52.5. But that's the reason why I made sure today that when we release this Friday morning, that we're giving you guys all Saturday games. So you have all day today to watch the show. You have tomorrow, we're going to re-release the show again in the morning. So you guys have an opportunity to catch up with the plays. That will get plenty of time to get your plays in. Some people are DMing me and saying that by the time they got the video, you know, the game was off. So that's why we want to make sure we gave you guys all Saturday games. So you have plenty of time to get it in. I'm about to go get on this TV. I got San Diego State +125 for 2 used cars. So it's very important that I go watch them. And I also have Central Michigan -8.5 on this football Friday. So you guys just continue to support us. Tune in to the radio. Follow us on Twitter. Catch all the free plays. And as we keep going, as the football season winds down, we're going to get you guys ready for the bowl season. And we're going to get you guys start going on a little college basketball. We've been doing pretty well on that one too, right, Spread?
That's right. It's been fantastic. So, guys, remember, you can catch 5-star on ESPN 95.7 on the bench Thursday morning. Of course, if you're following him at 5 Star in Vegas, spell it out, FIVE, you will get notified when he goes live on ESPN. And then, of course, here every Friday as we break down the weekend's games for college football. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll be back next week.